Plaintiff Tarina Howard says the defendant is her sister, and Tarina believes she is the princess of the family who can do no wrong. Tarina claims a few years back she got into an altercation with one of the defendant's friends, and the defendant took her friend's side. Tarina's suing her sister today for car damages. Defendant Tara Howard says Tarina is 7 years younger than her, and she is the epitome of a prima donna. Tara claims Tarina is full of herself and has always been catered to, and Tara feels Tarina's insurance should cover the car damages.
Start with you.
Your Honor, I am here with my sister who I love dearly. However, we've had a rocky relationship since I was born. She seems to think that I'm the spoiled one, and I feel like she is the princess of the family. She can do no wrong. There has been instances where I feel like my sister will put others before me, and I'm her blood, and I go hard for my sister. So I would hope that
Others like whom?
Well, for instance, there was a friend of the family who she associated with who I did not get along with. Okay. And I went to visit my sister one day, and me and the friend had gotten to a confrontation, and my sister basically took her side.
Okay. But it's not fiance or husbands, because
no.
That's what people get a little shaky about. That's where that issue gets a little shaky.
Plaintiff Tarina Howard is suing her sister, who claims Tarina is a prima donna who's used to getting her way.
When did all this start, your failure to get along?
I remember a time at my grandma's house where Grandma had told us to clean up, and we were both sitting outside, and she basically tried to force me into the house physically to clean up. And that was the day when I was like liberated from being under her bullying me. I grabbed a pop bottle and threw it at her, and that was like our first confrontation that I can even remember.
So was that the pattern in many instances? You were forced to do work that she wasn't?
I would say so, but
okay. So that's kind of like Cinderella. Yeah. You were the one forced to do all the terrible work. She was treated like the princess. That is Cinderella.
That's how I feel.
All right, good. You been to Broadway to see Keke Palmer on Cinderella? Young 20-year-old, young African-American, the first African-American to play Cinderella on Broadway.
All right.
So.
Right.
All right, so let me hear from you. Let me hear your side.
I'm sorry, Your Honor. Tarina is so full of herself. She's a prima donna. Like, she is the epitome of a prima donna. She's always been catered to. You know,
How has she been catered to? Give me some examples. She gave me examples of being overworked while you sat back.
That's so not true. Well, first of all, there's a 7-year difference between us, so, you know, things are going to be different.
Who's the oldest?
I am.
Okay, well, yeah, you're supposed to do all the work.
No. That's what I thought.
That's right. You have younger bones. That's good.
But let me tell you, on 2 out of her 3 pregnancies, I let her come and stay with me. You know, I didn't ask her for rent money or nothing like that. I caught hell. The first one, she was with her son's father. They fought like cats and dogs the whole time, every day, you know. They just brought chaos to my life. Mm-hmm. But she was pregnant, like I said, so, you know, I tried to give her the benefit of a doubt. And
how long did she stay with you off and on, if you add up all the months?
Altogether.
From the different times.
Oh, geez. Maybe a year.
Is that true?
I went to stay with my sister, yes, while I was pregnant because I felt like
I heard all that. Is it true, though, all those months?
Yes.
All right, so now we're going to get to the car damages you're suing her for. How does she owe you for car damages?
I invited her to come to Cleveland where I stay so that we could have fun and go out for her birthday. While she was at my house, it was my home was her home. My car was her car. Good. So if she needed to go somewhere, she used my car. It was the only form of transportation she had. It was a particular day. I can't remember the exact date. However, she came in the house and was like, oh man, I just accidentally backed up into a fire hydrant trying to maneuver around another car. And I didn't go off on her. I was just like, you got to get my car fixed.
Right.
So at the time, she was like, okay, I will. I know a good body shop guy. Then a few days after she backed into the fire hydrant, she tells me that she might have hit a pothole. Well, she didn't automatically tell me. I backed out the driveway after she had came back earlier that day. I backed out the driveway. My tire was flat. So I'm in front of my house with a flat tire. Like, what the heck happened to my car? I get out, I look at the tire. My rim is like busted. Like there's a chip of it missing.
When had you driven it prior to that?
She drove it that day, earlier that day. So I
What'd you say to her?
I changed my own tire. I had to get out there and change my own tire. There was nobody available, and I drove to the tire shop because I had a spare on, and they put a new tire on my car. I didn't even tell her to give me the money for the tire. I just wanted my car fixed because I had somewhere to go. I called her, and she's like, oh, I might have hit a...
Did you mention it to her then that, look, I believe you damaged the wheel?
Yeah.
You did?
Yeah.
Time you saw it. You didn't wait till the next day or later in the evening?
I was right in front of my house. I ran back in the house like my tire's busted. I'm stuck. And she's like, oh, it might have came from that pothole, but there was nothing wrong with it when I parked it. Well, so I'm like, she's the only one who drove the car. She messed my car up.
Cool.
Mind you, I didn't know that I had all these other damages until I went for an oil change shortly after she left. Maybe it was...
Damages regarding the wheel?
Yeah, the suspension on the car was now messed up.
Okay.
I go get an oil change. They come back with the inspection report, and I got thousands of dollars worth of damage on my car.
Relating to the wheel?
Related to the wheel.
You have the estimates?
Yes, I do.
Plaintiff Tarina Howard is suing her sister, who claims Tarina is a prima donna, who's used to getting her way.
Ma'am, let me hear from you.
Okay, Your Honor, I will admit to driving her car and backing up into a fire hydrant. Now that much, I'll admit. I do have a body man that I deal with, and I told her, I can help you get it fixed. Before I even drove her car, I asked her if she had full coverage, because, I'm not just gonna hop in her car and be responsible. So she told me yes, she had full coverage, so, I didn't think anything of it. So I backed into the fire hydrant, I told her about it. Little tiny hole. It could have been fixed with some Bondo, I'm sure. All the other damages, the wheel and the suspension and everything else, I'm not taking fault for that. Number one, pardon my French, but this girl drives like a maniac, like a bat out of hell. She can't drive.
The day you returned with the car, is it as she described? Did she point it out to you and say, look at the flat and look at my rim?
She did, but I can't take responsibility.
It wasn't flat when you took it?
Right.
It was not?
It was not
So
flat.
what do you think happened?
I really don't know.
Did you hit a pothole?
I hit a few potholes.
Okay, well then that's what happened. I do know. We do know. All right, now let me look at these estimates. All right, she has estimates that involve the wheel.
One of those estimates...
Related to the wheel and the bumper. What's that?
One of the estimates are from the April 16th, I believe.
And by the way, ma'am, she's not obligated to use her insurance to pay for her damages.
That estimate was given to me from the same dealership where I take my car before she came and drove my car, and they'll tell you there was nothing wrong with my car but a...
All right, $2,424 is your judgment. I believe you're responsible for both. When you took the car, the tire was fine, the rim was fine. You admit to hitting several potholes, and when you returned it to her after it being fine, when you took it, you admit that the tire was messed up. And I see the dent. You say it could be fixed with whatever, patched with chewing gum or whatever it is. Whatever it is you said, that's not how she wants her car to look. Judgment for the plaintiff.
Thank you.
Have a good day, lady.
I should never have to come to Judge Mathis.
Well, you shouldn't have. We could have taken care of this, but...
It's been months.
Okay.
Whatever. I love her. That's my sister. It is what it is.
If you find yourself in a legal bind and need some advice, visit my website, AskJudgeMathis.com.